Today on The Young and the Restless, Maria and Tessa worry about Aria's hearing, Kyle and Summer reach an agreement, and Adam asks Sally to reconsider his offer. At the park, Maria and Tessa discuss the former's move to SNA Media. Tessa teases that this way she can concentrate on her modeling work and not be distracted by thoughts of how to sneak off and canoodle with her wife in the office. They kiss, and a loud clap of thunder startles them. They're surprised the noise didn't wake up Aria. After more thunder and heat lightning, they realize they should get indoors. Maria can't believe Aria is sleeping through all of this. She calls the baby's name, and she cries. Tessa remarks on them panicking and waking her up. Maria shrugs it off, their new mothers. Tessa still finds it strange the thunder didn't awaken her. Maria recalls that she didn't respond when Tessa dropped all the utensils on the floor. Tessa questions, so she has a tolerance for loud, scary noises. Another thunderclap sends them on their way. At Crimson Lights, Esther watches an employee bus tables and makes a face. Sharon joins her, and they talk about Sharon joining Nick and Adam at SNA Media. Esther marvels that she's going to have her plate full. Sharon says that's why she asked her to come by today. She's not ready to let go of the coffee house, so she'll need someone to manage it for her. Maybe someone who has worked there before and knows how they do things. Does that sound like anyone you know? Esther beams. Do you want me to manage Crimson Lights? Sharon knows it means a lot to her to work at Chancellor Winters. Esther admits that's true, but now that she's been there a while, there are things she doesn't like. She thought she would be more human interaction. Sharon grins that there are a lot of people coming in there every day. Esther really did like being here. Sharon thought the manager role could be perfect for her. Esther would have to check with Devin and Lily, but then yay. Of course, I accept. At Society, Sally and Nick flirt. She wants to continue this back at her suite. He'd like that very much. At the club, Kyle runs into Summer by the door. They make small talk about Harrison and have a pleasant enough exchange. After, things turn serious and Summer says they should stop this. She tells her estranged husband, "I think it's time, Kyle, for a divorce." Kyle muses, "Divorce?" Summer thinks he's made it clear that's what he wants. Kyle didn't expect her to say it first. Summer says being in limbo is unhealthy and he hasn't reached out to her at all, even about Harrison. "I'm just saying that we're in this limbo and we need to get out of it. The way to do that is to formalize our separation, make it permanent." Nick and Sally walk in, and he sends her upstairs so he can make sure Summer's okay. Soaps.com Weekly Roundup. Week of March 1st, 5th, 2021. Nick joins Summer and Kyle and thinks it's a good thing that they're talking. Noting their expressions, he remarks, "Or not." Kyle says they're discussing Harrison's future. Nick asks to speak to Kyle alone for a moment. Summer reluctantly leaves them to it and heads upstairs. In his apartment, Adam admires the new offices, which are on the top floor of the building. They're just as high as Victor is and can probably see Newman Towers from the executive suite. It's perfect. At Crimson Lights, Esther tells Sharon she should be able to start soon. Maria and Tessa come in and they all coo over Aria in her stroller. Esther heads off with Sharon calling her Crimson Light's new manager. Sharon muses to Maria and Tessa that a lot has gone on there over the years. She knows Esther will give the place the care it deserves. In Sally's suite, she takes a call from Adam, who tells her that SNA's new offices are spectacular. He knows she'd love the view, so she should reconsider his job offer and say yes, this time. She tells him there are multiple reasons that would be a bad idea. Adam just doesn't see it. Sally asks if he's still going after Newman Media. He's let the merger idea go, he claims. Sally worries about her presence causing conflict. Adam assures her that he and Nick are fine. He wants to meet with Sally tomorrow and suggests she take the job for her and Nick's sake. Sally agrees to meet with him but won't make any promises. At the club bar, Nick and Kyle order drinks and go over the rough couple of months they've both had. Nick acknowledges that Summer crossed a line and was wrong. Kyle says, "She broke my trust." Nick knows. Kyle points out that his mother could have been serving a life sentence. Nick doubts Summer would have let it go that far. He knows Kyle's hurt, but there must still be love there. Kyle counters, "You know how relationships end, right? Was all the love gone there every time? Or did the reasons you broke up have nothing to do with love and everything to do with betrayal?" Nick feels it just can't be the end of Kyle and Summer. Kyle muses, "Unless it is." Nick says Summer made a terrible mistake, but it can't destroy one of the most solid couples he's ever seen, can it? Kyle tells Nick he can't find a way to forgive Summer. The betrayal was massive. Nick argues it hasn't been that long. Kyle counters that it's been long enough and he sees it all even clearer now. Summer's more like Phyllis than he ever realized. Nick talks up Summer's good points and says it's because of their connection and their love. Kyle asks if he owes it to the world to stay with Summer because she's more mature now. If he gave his marriage a second chance, he'd be waiting for another shoe to drop. With their mothers, family unity is impossible. Nick realizes there's nothing he can say. Kyle tells Nick that Summer is ready to move forward with a divorce. Nick says that's not what is in her heart. In her suite, Summer tries to work but breaks down in tears. At Crimson Lights, Tessa offers to step in and help out at the coffee house, but Sharon knows she has a lot on her plate. Mariah tells her mother she's excited to start working for her. A loud thunderclap startles them, and the baby continues sleeping. Maria says they're being paranoid. They explain that Aria isn't reacting to loud sounds. They started thinking something might be wrong. Tessa says it's not just the thunder. The other day she knocked over a container in the kitchen and it was loud. Aria didn't react at all. Sharon thinks it's possible she was a deep sleeper. Faith was that way. Tessa asks, "Isn't Aria old enough to be reacting when we call her name?" Sharon thinks they're worrying over nothing, but if they're truly concerned they should take her to the doctor and have her tested to set their minds at ease. In his apartment, Adam studies the drawing of the new offices and muses. "It's a new day, Dad, and now I'm going to show you what I'm made of." Nick joins Sally in her suite and tells her that Summer is talking divorce. Sally's surprised she'd give up on her marriage so easily. Nick thinks she's just heartbroken and Kyle seems set on moving on. He complains that Phyllis put Summer in an impossible situation, and this is the fallout. Nick wants to shake some sense into Kyle, but it's not his fight. It's hard. He just wants to take his little girl's pain away. Sally tears up and tells him, "You just would have been the best bonus dad to Ava." Nick holds her. Sally apologizes for making it about her. Nick says that's the way grief works. He tells her she's doing great, "I'm proud of you." Sally thanks him for understanding. Nick says she's right. He would have done everything he could to be the best dad to her daughter. "Maybe someday I'll have another chance." Sally asks, "Are you saying you want to have a kid with me?" Nick says he's not proposing if that's what she thinks. Sally gasps, "Thank God." Nick teases her for being so relieved. He feels if it got to the point where another kid was what they both wanted, he'd love to have one with her. He knows she'd be an amazing mother. They kiss. Kyle arrives at Summer's suite and knocks. She lets him in wearing just a robe. Kyle apologizes for showing up without calling. Summer says it's fine. He's still her husband. Kyle tells her she's right. There's no coming back from what she did. It's time for a divorce. Summer, emotional, tells him she'll move all of her stuff out of the house as soon as she can and will get in touch with a lawyer. They agree they'll handle it as adults and parents. Kyle moves to the door and Summer says, "Kyle, wait. I really am sorry. For everything." Kyle nods, "Me too." In Crimson Lights, Mariah and Tessa try to convince themselves that they're jumping to conclusions about Aria's hearing. Sharon joins them and says Aria has an appointment with a pediatrician tomorrow morning. They need to go have the test and then move on to worrying about something else. The girls thank her. As Sharon plays with Aria, she offers to keep the baby while they go out and have a date night. Mariah says they'll take a rain check. Sharon says sure. "Don't worry, you girls." In the GCAC dining room, Kyle gets a text from Audra asking him to stop by. He tells her not tonight, he's wiped out and will see her tomorrow. In Summer's suite, she removes her wedding rings while flashing through better times with Kyle and then to their split.